Welcome everybody to my low budget top games of 2024. In this video, I'm going to go through the top 7 games that I played last year. There are sure to be some games that are very familiar that you all know and love, but there might be some surprises here on this list. So sit down, buckle up, and enjoy the ride. Coming in at number 7 is none other than Balatro. This game probably doesn't need too big of an introduction as it received tons of awards last year as like the best indie game of the year. And for good reason. It's just so smooth in its gameplay and so elegant in its design and how it takes that 5 card poker gameplay loop like from the card game and turns it into a roguelike video game. Um, it's really fun just starting off with a normal 52 card deck and slowly turning it into a very specific build to make you climb higher, 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 and get more and more and more points to try to clear the bosses. Um, Only issue I have is it can be a little bit repetitive, so it's really good for like short, quick bursts of playing. You know, maybe a couple games here and there every now and then. It can be a little bit repetitive if you play it over and over again, but that's all right. It's a great game for those car rides or plane rides or just late at night. You just want something to chill and play while listening to some music. Um, you can either think as little as you want or as much as you want because this game can get pretty deep in its statistics, and I love statistics, but there are so many times where I have no idea what is the statistically correct move to make here because there are just so many through lines in which you can make your decision based off of. So, because of that, I love this game. Coming in number 7. Alrighty, coming in at number 6 is Path of Exile 2. The newly released ARPG was a hit, I will say. It is very good. However, it does have a lot of pros and a lot of cons. Um, it's it's got the bones of a great game, but the issues affecting it, in my opinion, really do hold it back. This is going to be one of the longer entries in this list, so feel free to skip it if you want. Of course, just skip along if you don't want to hear me ramble on about this game. I wanted to make a whole review video just on this game alone, but I didn't. I don't really want to do that, so I'm just gonna try to wrap it into this video and try to keep it a little bit quick. The thing I like most about this game, number one, first and foremost, are the bosses, which you see right here, Mechtold, the Forge Master. I love this part right here. It is so visually striking and satisfying to be dodging these. Path of Exile 2 does bosses better than any ARPG on the market right now. They really do just, they really do nail that part of it. It's particularly during the campaign where you can tell they're a little bit more refined, a little bit more tested. Um, it's just a pleasure. Additionally, the combat flow in these boss fights are really good. It's kind of slower and methodical. They added in a dodge roll, which doesn't have any invincibility frames for most boss attacks, but it does dodge some lesser attacks, and it helps with the movement as well because you don't have any actual movement abilities. So yeah, number one thing I like about this game are the boss fights. Okay, moving on to the next thing I like, particularly about Path of Exile. In this next clip, we're gonna see me go through this zone and attempt the boss at the end of the zone. But another thing great about this game is the art style. It really is beautiful game. It really is a beautiful game. It has lots of stunning vistas, and every place you go, it's like you're happy to be there because it just looks so good. You know what I mean? Whether it's like a haunted woods or this is like some Aztec civilization, it is quite good. Moving on, another thing I like is the leveling pace. It really doesn't hesitate to just throw levels at you in the early game. Like you're getting a level pretty consistently every maybe 20 to 30 minutes throughout the entire game, and that's obviously me just playing for the first time, which is I'm not exactly the fastest leveler. I don't have the fastest build, and it's I'm sure you can speed that up a lot. So I do like the leveling pace, although I do think it could be even a little bit faster. I like the enemy and zone variety. It never really felt like I was playing or fighting the same types of enemies back to back. Obviously there are like the common, like these guys, right? The common scraff or whatever that runs at you and with melee. Um, But for the most part, you do fight a lot of unique and interesting enemies. Some of them, I will say, however, are very annoying. There are some people who have like they have shields, these big shields, right, and they reflect projectiles back at you. And as a bow person, all I have is projectiles, right? So it makes me like get in close and get behind them. And on surface, it's like, yeah, that's a good idea, but in reality, it just really bogs down the game, particularly when you have like an elite version of one of those monsters, a big shield guy that you have to. I can literally shoot him one time and then roll through him and shoot him again and roll through him and shoot him again because you need to hit him in the back. So it doesn't end up working out very well in my opinion. So that's what the one downside to this variety. But overall, still very very good. Okay, and now onto the things I don't love about this game so much. In the background here, you're gonna see me fight these two bosses, which is so frustrating. One of them is hasted, so he just runs at me super quickly. But the other one regenerates health, but he regenerates like almost as much health as damage I can do. So I'm just barely doing more damage than health he's regenerating. It just takes so long to kill. It's gonna take like 3 minutes, and I'm gonna try to wrap this up in that time. Okay. Number one thing I don't like the most is that the cost of respecting your talents, which is like resetting your build, is so high. They did recently reduce it, but I think even now I'd only be able to get maybe 2 or 3 talent respects, like full talent respects, um, before I run out of gold. In which case, then I'm locked in, and that really diminishes the amount of variety that you're able to experience in this game because there is a lot of build variety. And I do love that, but if you can't change your build and try them out, then what's the point of having all this build variety? Um, I would love to try out all these different builds, but it feels bad when so you want to try out a build. Oh, you don't like it as much, so then you gotta swap back, and there goes half your gold or even more, right? Um, okay, moving on. Another thing I don't like is that the passive skill tree, which is again the things that sets your build and everything. Um, you get a passive skill point every time you level up, and never once in the entire like 40 maybe 50 hours of playing this game did I ever actually feel the impact of that skill point. I think I got to level like 66 or maybe 67, something like that, and every single skill point I put in, I could not tell a difference. Obviously, cumulatively, it does make a change. It does make a difference, right? Obviously, but I would rather prefer fewer level ups with more impactful level ups rather than I think the max level is 100, so the amount of levels they have with less impactful decisions. Because getting a little bit more stats or a little bit more, lightning penetration on my lightning arrow build, or a little bit more, you know, 2% movement speed, like sweet dude, you just never feel it. You never feel it, and that is really frustrating. Um, is frustrating. Another thing that is kind of frustrating is that the zones when you're in in the campaign, the zones are so big that because you don't have any movement skills, and my class has zero movement skills, it takes so long to progress through them and explore them, and so it really decentivizes you to explore anything because it takes so long to get anywhere. And if you do happen to miss the entrance to the next zone or whatnot, having to backtrack and search every nook and cranny to find it just wastes so much time. It feels so bad, and it can turn one zone into like a 20 to 30 minute slog. But there you go. There was that boss fight. As you can see, it's pretty frustrating to fight. Just shoot and roll. But with all that being said, Path of Exile is still a very good game, particularly the campaign. I'm very excited for the part 2 of the campaign to actually finish it up, to come out, and I will definitely be playing through it. And with all the bad things I said, the bones of this game are really good. They really are. So that's why it deserves number 6 on my list. Number 5 on the list is WoW of Warcraft. Not much to say about this game that the 2 or 3 people watching this video don't already know, but great game. What can I say? You're gonna see me capture a flag here in this battleground. I mostly played PvP this last year. I wasn't able to have a work schedule that allowed me to raid with my rating group, which was mostly the reason why it's dropped from. It used to be top 3, now it's number 5. Most of the reason why it dropped was because I wasn't able to do that raid. But it was good. It was fun. I enjoyed my time with it. It's always wow. It's always fun to play with friends. You know what I mean? No matter what you're doing, whether it be PVE or PvP, playing WoW with friends is just a classic all-time experience, and it probably will be forever. They are going to continue to support this game for years and years and years. So you don't feel like you're wasting time put in because the investment's going to pay off in the future as they keep releasing more and more content for this game. So yeah, no, great game. New expansion is decent. It's decent. I didn't really interact with the actual game too much. To be fair, to be honest, but I just wasn't really feeling it. And sometimes you got to be in the mood to really grind it out like you do. So wow, number 5. See you next year. Alrighty, coming in at number 4 is Wasteland 3. My brother and I played this game on and off for probably about 2 years, maybe a year and a half or so, and we ended up beating it this year, and we ended up really liking it. It's not the longest game ever, which is really nice because most CRPGs are quite long, and games like Divinity 2 or Baldur's Gate 3 might be like objectively better games, but they're so dang long that to play it co-op to find that time to do it is it's really hard. So that's why I think we stuck with this game so much is because it was a lot more focused in its story and its pacing. Um, the thing about this game is that it's it kind of draws you in somehow with its personality and its quirks. It it's got it's got like a humorous tone, but it's a very brutal world. So like my brother and I, we always try to be like the good people, the morally correct people, right? But in the wasteland, the world's pretty gray, and you're not always able to do the make the correct decision and save the world, so to speak. And because of that, even though we thought we were saving the world, we ended up leaving the wasteland, the area here, pretty bad off because we took very concrete, um, unbreakable, I guess you could say, unmovable approaches to these moral situations that we were thrown. And that really I thought was a fun part of it. Also, like the mechanics of this game are pretty quirky. There were many mechanics where we weren't we even at the end of the game we weren't quite sure how they worked, right? Like the cover system. The cover system should be pretty self-explanatory, but I'm telling you, like you would look at the hit percentage when you move from square to square, and it did not seem to make a lot of sense. Um, so it's just small things like that kind of add up, and in a worse game they would ruin the experience. But in a game like this, it almost made it like more memorable because it's like, oh, it's just wasteland, that's just the way it is. Um, and these sorts of quirks kind of held our attention, so we ended up beating it. It's probably the first game Jake and I ever beat together, and might be the only one for a long time because it's hard. Like I said, it's hard to find time to play with someone over hours and hours and hours. So hopefully Wasteland 4 comes out soon and we can we can start that one up too. But yeah, we really enjoyed this game. That's why it's number 4 on my list. Um, we're still looking for another game to replace this one, honestly, and hopefully we can soon. But if not, we can always come back to this. So Wasteland 3, number 4. Alrighty, coming in at number 3 is Old School RuneScape. Now, number 3 and not number 2 really is quite close. I flip flopped a little bit on where to put which one where, and number 2 might surprise you, um, because Old School RuneScape is of course an all-time great game for me. It is just so good. It is timeless. It's classic. It's nostalgic. It's legitimately a good game. It's what World of Warcraft Classic wishes it could be. There's never been a game like it. Hopefully, there will be a game like it in World of Warcraft Classic Plus, right? Or whatever you want to call it. But it is truly a one of a kind game. And because of that, it has to be high up on this list. I love this game so much. It's a little bit lower. I think it was 1 or 2 in the previous video that I made, so it did technically fall a little bit in terms of play placement. However, that is not to disparage the game at all. The game is still great as ever. Arguably, it's the golden age of Old School RuneScape right now, and has been for a long time. and probably will continue to be so because the updates they continue to make and add into this game are just always so good. Um, Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about why I love this game so much. I'm going to try to keep it somewhat short, probably just the duration of this boss fight, but a lot of these points come from another RuneScape video that I watched earlier this year, and it's a 2 or 3 hour long video essay about why RuneScape is great, and it's one of my favorite videos of all time. I just love it. It's so informative, and I agree with so many on all the points. And one of the points that he brings up and really harps on in his video is about attention calibration. Now, what that means is one of the one of the dials that RuneScape is able to use in game design is how attentive you have to be during this content, right? So, and the content we're watching now, you have to be locked in 100%. If you look away for 2 seconds, you're probably going to die, right? If one of these waves hits you that you see on the ground here, you're going to take about half your health. If another one hits you, you're probably going to die. And it's going to get harder and harder and harder throughout the boss fight. Um, but there is so much stuff to do in this game that's not like this, right? Most games are like this, in which you have to be pretty much paying pretty close attention to it. Otherwise, you're gonna not progress at all, or you might die or lose progress or whatever it is, right? But RuneScape has thousands of activities you can choose from, all which require different amounts of attention. So the other side of the attention calibration is, say, it's called mining shooting stars, in which case it allows you to click and not pay attention for another, I think it's 7 minutes, right? When you're training combat in a different like training area, you can click and not come back for 20 minutes at a time. 20 minutes. You can just sit. Your computer can be running, game can be running, and you are progressing your account. That is the reason why it takes thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of hours to max your account in this game. Why it's so grindy. This is one of the grindiest games of all time. It's because of stuff like that. You're able to progress while not really playing the game, right? It's almost like a pseudo idle game, and I love idle games. Who doesn't? I mean, a lot of people might not, but I love idle games. Um, that is a huge reason why this game is just so incredible, so incredible. Another reason why this game is great is, of course, just the create your own adventure almost, right? Or create your own progression, you could even say. This game, so much of this game is limited by unlocking certain game mechanics or certain pieces of gear or certain skill levels. And the thing is that the path to unlock all of those things is all long and convoluted. And what that means is that if you want to unlock an object A, right? You might need to first level up skill B. But in order to level up skill B efficiently, you need to do quest C. But in order to do quest C, then you need to level up a different skill. In order to level up that skill, maybe you need to play a mini game so you can unlock, a bigger inventory size or whatever. And then and then finally, after you do all those things, then finally you can unlock item A, right? I think I said so. The path for progression is so satisfying and different for everybody, and it's really 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 fun and interesting to kind of plan your route through through this game. This speaking of more this year terms, I did play a little bit of this raid in particular, and I got a really valuable drop, very very rare. I got incredibly lucky, and so that did of course help fuel my love for this game this year because when you get a drop like that, it changes your whole account. You unlock so much more content. You can do efficiently. Um, and yeah, I'm really excited to look at see what's in store for this game. They keep releasing amazing updates. There's a new skill coming soon, and this next year I might be maxing. I might be maybe another year and a half out from maxing. Who knows? But regardless, I'm loving it every step of the way. Can't wait to sign in and grind some more because it really does never get old. And Jake, my brother, has even started playing this game a little bit too, and he's caught up kind of far too. So it's never too late. It's never too late. Alrighty, and coming in at number 2 is Deadlock. Now, This game may have never even heard of it. It's all good. Um, this game is so good. It combines two of some of my favorite genres in the MOBA and the hero shooter genres, and it does it in such a good, clean, entertaining way. Nothing, no game released this year captured my attention quite like Deadlock did. Just in terms of like in terms of how the game affected me. I remember the first like week or two I started playing this game. I could almost think about nothing else. I just wanted to get home, play this game, play some new champions, try some new builds, improve and get better, do research, watch high elo players so I could learn all the best strategies, yada yada yada. Like it just kept going on and on and on. And there hasn't been another game like that in so long. I mean, games don't really affect me like that nowadays. Maybe they used to when I was younger, but that's rare. That's rare not nowadays. And that's how I knew this game was special. So many mechanics in this game, from the interesting heroes to even like last hitting minions. Just they really turn the genre on their head. The fact that you can like deny the enemy minions, which isn't exactly the most novel concept, obviously, but the way when you last hit a minion that the orb appears, then you have to try to both last hit the orb. It just makes the laning phase, which is usually the most tedious part of a MOBA, it makes the laning phase so interesting and dynamic because you're forced to choose between, do I want to use shoot at the enemy, or do I want to focus on last hitting minions so I get gold, um, and deny them gold, and how do I position so I can most properly or best do that? Do I want to gank other lanes? Do I want to farm the jungle? Like, you just have so many options. You have so much freedom in this game that you don't have in other games, and that's saying a lot because MOBAs do typically have a lot of freedom in their choice, but this game takes it to a whole another level. Speaking of freedom, the build freedom that you have in this game is also so good. You're able to build crazy things on different champions, and you can make it work with different play styles. And some builds that I hated, other people would use super well, and good for them. And finding the build that you like and tailoring it to how you want to play the game is also very satisfying and a really good way of having skill expression in this game. It rewards knowledge and um, like game theory, I guess you could say, or whatever you want to phrase it, however you want to phrase it. But the biggest problem with this game, unfortunately, is that my friends aren't playing it. That's the biggest problem. I would play this game whenever if my friends were playing it. However, um, it's hard to get people to play this game because it is a very, it's a very almost like scary game to start playing because it's so competitive and it's so um, brutal to play to learn, like most MOBAs are. Right, the difference in skill expression, or the skill gap between a new player and an experienced player is so big. You really got a big mountain to climb when you first start this game. But if you are able to play it with friends, it is so good. Games last a long time, which it's fun because it allows for you to a push back and forth. Um, that's also a negative, I will say, because when you're in this game, you really do not have a lot of break time. Just going back to base and back to lane are the only break times you get. And when you're not doing that, you are 100% locked in, trying to be as efficient as possible, making decisions, trying to get headshots, trying to farm, trying to think about your build, whatever, right? It's all these different things you can and should be doing. So that can be kind of frustrating too for some people. I understand because they want a little more chill experience. Um, I get it. But the other thing though that this game does so well is that it's it really is a movement based game in that the way you can move in this game and slide down slopes and wall hop off walls, um, it allows you to it allows for another dimension for um, skill creativity that just adds to all the other stuff I've already talked about, right? I already talked about how much freedom you have and how much skill expression there is in the different types of builds and whatever, right? Different strategies. And the fact that movement is a part of it, it's such a core aspect of this game, is just it's just the cherry on top. Because being able to get away from somebody that or with movement that maybe they don't know about, or that they don't aren't able to do or pull off is incredibly satisfying. I'm going to show you a clip real quick of one time when I did this, um, and you can see here I do a kind of a I do kind of a wall jump, and I barely get away with just a little bit of health after I kill this per person here. Then I'm running away. I'm panicking because if I don't do something quick, I'm gonna die. You can see him behind me. I'm already dying. Oh, but I get right up there. Not a lot of people know about that jump. At least when I was playing, they don't know about it, and I get away. And they're like, "What? What the heck?" You know what I mean? It's so satisfying. Here's another one. Here's another one. Let me fast forward a little bit. Oh, wait. Here we go. This guy comes and gakes me. He, by all rights, should kill me here, right? But what do? I run to my trusty little spot dove over here, using my movement, and then I'm almost dead. Oh, but I get up and I barely escape. There's another guy there too, 200 health, 250 health, and I get away. And he comes through. There he is again, looking at me. He doesn't know how I did that. It's so satisfying, and it's moments like that which make this game very special, and it's the reason why I put it at number 2 on my list. Alrighty, folks, and number 1 is of course League of Legends. This game is just it's got its hold on me, and it's had its hold on me for past 15 years. I love this game. It never gets old. They keep updating it every year to switch it up, keep it fresh, but it's still this. I mean, you're playing the same game over and over and over again, and it's still fun. It's so special. It is so special, and I hope everybody has a game like this because I mean it never gets old. And not only does it never get old, but it actively benefits my life in so many different ways. In that I, the, the community I have playing this game that I've built over the years through real life friendships, it it it's hard to describe because there are so many people that I would never talk to, or not maybe not never talk to, right? But I wouldn't talk to still to this day if I didn't play this game with them, you know, as much as I do. And so it's that sort of aspect of this game that makes it so special for me personally. But even so, I mean, there's a reason why this is the most popular MOBA in the world, right? And has been since its release. It's just the smoothest gameplay. It's hard to say if it's the best design or whatnot because there are other games with good design and yada yada. But the charm of this game, the art style, everything is just it just all flows so well together. And the day to day, or I should say the game by game diversity that you get, it's just you, there are very few games like it where it's all the same map, but yet every game still feels so different. That can of course be the cause of a lot of strife sometimes when it's very frustrating to play and you're behind and etc. etc. But the exact opposite is true when you're ahead. As you can see here, I'm repeat ganking this guy, completely ruining his game, but it's putting our game so far ahead. This guy's not having a good time. There's a saying that in order for somebody to have fun playing a multiplayer game, somebody else has to have a bad time, right? And that is kind of League of Legends at its core. Um, However, with that being said, you still can have fun with this game, even with it being sometimes, a little frustrating, so to speak. Let's see this. Here we go. A little frustrating, so to speak. If you're able to kind of manage your anger and your frustration while playing this game, which you should be able to. Let's be honest, we're all adults here, right? But if you're able to, watch this W real quick. Watch this set. Ready? Right here. Three, two, one. Boom! Oh my goodness, it's so satisfying. Again, moments like those. It's moments like those that I keep playing this game. I forgot what I was talking about, but anyway. Oh yeah, if you're able to manage your anger, if you're able to mitigate the negative aspects of this game, and focus mostly on the positive aspects, it completely elevates the experience because you get all the positive with a lot less of the negative. Some people let it affect their entire mental state, and I get it, right? But this game honestly makes me be a better person because it forces me to um rather, maybe not forces, but it incentivizes me to be a good sportsmanship and to be respectful and always say, GG, well played at the end of the game. I never used to do that, but as a person, I've matured. In the past 15 years, while playing this game, I, as a person, have gone from, the cringy, haha, GG, easy, whatever you want to say, right? Or, um, you know, jungle diff, whatever. Um, doing that every game too. Just a respectful GG, well played. Um, it just helps everybody have a better experience, and and it helps it helps me have a more fun time too. Add on to the fact that Arcane has come out these past couple years, which give you another anchor to this game that wasn't there before, right? So I talked about before. I have my real life friends that all play this game. That's another anchor. I can log in at almost any time and find people to play with because this game is just it's so popular that, or maybe not so popular, but I have so many friends that play this game that I can always find someone to hop in a game with. Um, anyways, I'm gonna move on. This is the end of it, but long story short, this game so fantastic, so timeless. I don't see myself ever really stopping playing this game unless all my friends stop playing this game. I don't remember the last time I actually played this game solo, besides just like maybe 10 games every year to get my actual rank. That's about the only time I play solo. But um, besides that, this is a game you got to play with friends because without friends, you do let the it's easy to let the bad thoughts win, if you know what I mean. But if you do have friends, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like this game. So that's it. Thank you guys for watching my video. I know it's kind of a anticlimactic ending, but it is late where I'm at, 1:44 a.m. as you can see on my screen. So I'm gonna go to bed. But I enjoyed making this video. Thank you for watching it till the end. If you did, um, I know it's probably only gonna reach maybe 2 to 3 people, but that's okay. Thank you for sharing in these memories with me this year. It's been a blast. Here's to another year and another list of great games to play. So yeah, GG, well played, and I'll see you next year.